What's up, YouTube? It's Eric, a Lions fan. I appreciate you checking out this video. Guys, we're going to talk about Calvin Johnson and the Detroit Lions. Apparently, Rod Wood, he's the president of the Detroit Lions. He reached out to Calvin Johnson and asked him to come back to training camp. Now, as all you guys know, since March 2016, the relationship between the Detroit Lions and Calvin Johnson has been anything other than stellar. It's been, I don't want to say it's been pretty bad, but it's been to the point where it just hasn't been good. Let's just put it that way, for lack of a better word. It hasn't been good. Rod Wood has reached out to him via text messages. I guess there hasn't been any phone calls yet. I'm going off an ESPN article here that references the Detroit Free Press quite a bit. As you guys know, throughout the history, Calvin Johnson retired from the Lions back in March of 2016. Said he was done, said he couldn't, his injuries were piling up, and he didn't feel like he was going to be much towards the team, and he kind of felt disrespected, all that sort of stuff, all throughout from March 2016 until now. The lack of success was a contributing factor when he talked to reporters out there in Italy when he went out. I guess he had a vacation or something out there in Italy. I don't really know what that was all about. We'll just say his trip to Italy was like that. And he was pretty bitter about, I'm going to use the word bitter, he's pretty bitter about having to repay more than $1 million and only keeping about $320,000 of a signing bonus. He was pretty bitter about that. So there's been some, I don't want to say bad blood, but not good relations between Calvin Johnson and the Detroit Lions. I don't know if it's, I kind of really don't know where it's at right now. Rod Wood isn't giving much specifics on what's going on, but guys, let's just put it this way. I don't think Calvin Johnson's coming back, nor do I think he should come back to the Lions. I think most Lion fans right now are reserved to the fact that there's some that are still holding on hope. But for me, and probably most Detroit Lions fans, we're past this now. We're past the Calvin Johnson era. He wasn't a real big factor here when he was here. He was always double and triple teamed, so you could never get him the ball unless there were certain situations where he was open or had single coverage. And that's my own personal opinion, obviously. I don't think he was the valuable asset that everyone made him out to be. I don't want to say he was a bust, but I just don't think he delivered, more or less, is kind of where I'm getting at. And I'm going to be quite frank. I don't think he really delivered on what he was supposed to do here in Detroit. I think we're way past that now. It's Matthew Stafford's team now. The Detroit Lions should be focusing on getting his contract renewed. But like I said in my last video, if they flounder, he's gone. If we're anything less than probably 8-8, 9-7, right around there, we're done. He's gone, and that even may be a point to where he may still test the market to try to get the most money that he can, and he has the right to do that. But the Lions and any other NFL organization, it's none of our business whether they want to spend $150, $200, $300 million on a player. That's really, we might go back and be like, wow, that's a lot of money to pay, or somebody like, I'm not going to pay Matthew Stafford that. That's not between us and the Lions. We are not paying Martha Ford to spend that kind of money, or we're not forcing her to spend that kind of money. What she does with her finances over there is up to what goes on in Allen Park. But anyway, to kind of go on here, I'm kind of detracting off of here. There's a little bit of a paragraph here that I want to read if I can find it here, and it kind of pretty much tells of what's happening here. He goes on to say when he was out in Italy, he goes, of course I thought about it, returning back to the NFL. Just like in basketball, you know, guys, they create these super teams. But it's not quite like that on football where I can just have the freedom to where I just want to go. And I was stuck in my contract in Detroit, and they told me they would not release my contract, so I would have to come back to them. I didn't see the chance for them to win a Super Bowl at the time, and for the work I was putting in, it just wasn't worth my time to keep beating my head against the wall and not going anywhere. Pretty much a telling sign of the Detroit Lions organization, and pretty truthful and frankful too. And that's the part of Calvin Johnson I respect about him. He's pretty frank, and he kind of says it. Well, I don't think he was being disrespectful there, but he gets the point across without having to be disrespectful. Now, this last year and this year with the draft and what's going on, I think the organization is starting to come around. Again, this is just my own personal opinion, but if they go on this record again and with everything King, he says, I've watched his video here before I'm doing my video. The Lions, and I wholeheartedly agree with the man, the Lions need to keep players that they think are a good team and pay the players what they're worth, and to keep them here in Detroit. Because if you don't do that and they go on to other places, you're going to be stuck in this rut of kind of where we're at now. We're kind of a 500 team, or we're going to have one of these seasons where we just suck ass and we're 3-13, 2-14, or in one case 0-16, which never should have happened, by the way. That was a stupid ass, and now that's another story for another time. But we're going to get stuck in that rut of only being about a 500 team and making the playoffs and then getting our asses blown out in the wild card game. I want to say we're past Calvin Johnson, and we need to be focusing on Matthew Stafford and getting him the pieces in here that what he can get. Get him a defense, number one, that can hold leads and can hold people, and doesn't have to have the team go 80 yards for a touchdown, seems like all the time, or get big chunks of yards and get a field goal. And get him receivers that can catch the ball and get him a line that can protect him, okay? Because we all know the history about that. I'm not going to go into that. If you guys want to hear that, other people will say that. So, guys, let me know what you guys think of my video for Calvin Johnson. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you have your own opinion? Go ahead and put it down in the comments, and also do a like, subscribe as well, guys. I'm actually getting kind of, I'm kind of getting the itch for football. So I want to see some Detroit Lions football. I do want to see some Michigan State football too here in my local high school team that I follow, which is where I went to school at. I'm ready for some football, guys. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Deuces, guys. Take care.